Hey, my name is Kevin Stewart. I'm District Executive in the Great Salt Lake Council. I've been in the profession for about 3.5 years. But before I became a professional, I worked in scout camps for a long time. 10 of the most memorable years of my scouting experience were at a scout camp in Utah National Parks Council. It's called Schofield Aquatic Space, or it was called Schofield Aquatic Space at that time. Years ago, I was the program director there, and I remember a very specific experience that changed my life. There was a tradition at Schofield. We had a rather large lake that on Thursday afternoon, we would do the mile swim. And on Thursday, during one normal week, we had camp names at the time, and the aquatics director came out. His name was Snake Eyes, and he said, "Hey everybody, come on over to the aquatics area at lunchtime, and we're gonna do the mile swim." And out in the crowd, there was a young man who thought to himself, "Hey, I can do the mile swim." He'd probably never swam 100 yards in his life, but he decided that he was going to do the mile swim. And so promptly at lunch, right at the end of his last class, he ran to the changing area, changed into a swimsuit, and ran down to the aquatics area. And there he was met by Snake Eyes again, and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Good, I'm here for the mile swim." "Okay, cool. Well, where's your buddy? You got to have a buddy to follow you in a boat." "Oh, I don't have a buddy," he said. And well, they're all up carving sticks and sitting around the campfire. "Well, unfortunately, you can't do it without a buddy." "Oh, okay." And the scout bowed his head a little bit, sunk his head a little bit, and then he started to turn around and walk away. A few seconds later, Snake Eyes ran up and caught up to him and said, "Hey, buddy, come on over. I've got an extra staff member. He'll be able to follow you in your boat." And so the mile swim began. Everyone jumped in at the same time. For this particular mile swim, they would swim a quarter mile one direction and then turn around and come back and then repeat the course. And so Schofield's cold, and to spend that long in the water can be quite the process. So this boy, he starts swimming, and he swam with all his might and his strength, and he would look up at the shore every once in a while, and he would notice that the shore was not going the right direction. He was actually losing ground. And so he swam a little bit harder, and he swam. And then soon enough, he noticed that there was a scout that had already made it to the quarter mile mark and was coming back, and he passed him. "Well, it's okay. Some people are better swimmers than me," he thought, and he went on, and he kept swimming. Well, soon enough, that same swimmer that had passed him going the other direction is now passing him going the same direction. And so he has not yet made it a quarter mile, and the scout is now approaching his 3/4 mile mark. A little bit dejected and a little bit, downtrodden, he decided he was done. But his buddy, the staff member, whose camp name was Yoda, said, "Hey, keep going. You can do it. I believe in you. Keep swimming. Float a little bit on your back. Now keep swimming." And so he made it to the quarter mile mark, and the second quarter mile was easy because that's the way the current was going. The third quarter mile was hard. "Keep going," he would say. "Keep swimming. Make it a little bit longer. Now rest on your back. You can do this. You can do this." And then he made it to the third quarter mile mark and came back quite easily. At one point in the last length, he looked up and noticed that his buddy boat was drifting a little ways away. "Yoda," he cried, "I can't make it. You need to be close to me." "Hey kid, you're at the dock." He looked up, and there it was, 20 feet away, and Yoda cruised around, parked his boat, ran up and pulled him out of the water, got his towel, warmed him up, threw him on his back, and walked him to the trading post. He got to the trading post, walked inside, and said, "Hey everybody, guess what? Kevin just finished his mile swim." That was me 23 years ago. And I've never been the same person since. And it was because of a staff member like Yoda in a camp that I had never been at that I have decided to make scouting a career that I will help and change lives. Because of experiences like that, we have the opportunity to make boys men. And I attribute that to Yoda. His name's Josh Patterson. And I keep in contact with him to this day. And I appreciate all that he did for me.